Oh good, you're here. Let's talk lavender. I am in need of a happiness project, and I'm open to suggestions. Let me begin by telling you what a happiness project is not. A friend of mine called the other day and said her niece had requested that she knit her a sweater with a little row of sheep knitted into the hemline. Now, this particular friend is very good at detail and has knit many detailed sweaters, including one with a giant, very detailed pigeon on the front. At any rate, she felt obliged and more than happy to knit the literally sheep-lined sweater for her niece, and began the project with gusto. But then, just before she hit the hooves of the sheep, she and her sister, her niece's mother, had a huge blowout, and she felt that she'd lost the argument. This continued for days. And when I spoke to her, she said that she and her sister were trying their best to resolve their differences. But in the meantime, she'd had to stop knitting the sheep sweater because she felt that in her current state of mind, she would be knitting anger and resentment into that line of sheep. And she didn't want to convey that to her niece. I thought about this and reflected on it and thought, that's exactly what happened in the pandemic to many of us. Many of us have a misery project from that difficult, exhausting, and terrifying time of loss. I know many of you lost loved ones and loved things, businesses, people, ways of life, freedoms, homes, all sorts of precious things were lost. And many of us knitted to fill the hours and to keep the frustration and fear at bay, and also to carve out a little personal time for ourselves. So I knit the most enormous mohair blanket that started off as queen-sized and ended up being bigger than a king-size blanket. This thing is horrendous. It's huge and hairy and awkward. And I've stuffed it into a basket into the back of my linen closet, where it sits waiting for action or decision. I just couldn't stop. I didn't know what else to do. And honestly, I never had the imagination at the time to come up with a new project. So I over-ordered yarn online from Joann's. Do you also miss Joann's? Isn't this a loss? And boxes and boxes and boxes of yarn arrived, and I just marched my way through. I clacked my needles through boxes and boxes of this yarn. A muted stone color, which I thought at the time was a great neutral. It's an enormous tribute or reflection of difficulty and sadness. And now I have a lump of sadness sitting in my closet and no idea what to do with it. Nobody will want it. Nobody will want it. It weighs a ton. Of course, I hauled it out the other day, spread it out, and thought, it doesn't look that bad. The design's quite intricate. I can see where I went a little crazy, but if I added a fringe, it could be quite funky. Of course, that's just insane because nothing is going to save this ode to misery and anxiety. So I've yet to decide what to do with it. But in the meantime, it crouches in my linen closet, quietly awaiting its sentence. Yes. So, do you have a misery project? And do you also stop? Just stop when you know there's no love going through your hands? So I thought I would come up with an antidote to this and create a happiness project. And start something smallish probably, but only work on it when life was really, really good. When life is feeling generous, kind, or just particularly great. And in this way, I'm going to work only great positive energy into this project. And my hope is after it's done, it shines with love and positivity. So I'm taking suggestions. Any ideas? Let me know what you think. It's a crazy idea and maybe a little silly, but positive things are rarely not worth doing, don't you think? All right, love. Keep crafting one stitch at a time.